This video is going to be about one of my favorite players that's probably unknown outside of the Ravens fan base, Justin Madubuike. Looking at a contract situation, hopefully, to return to the Ravens, but a unique player for his athletic build, his size, his speed, and closing speed, which you'll see in a couple of plays here, combined with his ability to take on combo blocks and reset his feet. Must have great, incredibly strong hips and quads and thighs because the guy deals with combo blocks from offensive linemen, tight ends, much larger than him, trying to work up to the second level, and he can reset his base, frame someone up, and get involved in the play. He's a guy that we would say is either on top of the pile or underneath of it. One of those players that at the end of the play, you're trying to figure out who made the tackle, and you constantly either see him getting up off the top of the pile or he's at the bottom of it. He's just pure chaos on the field. I thought he destroyed the Titans' blocking schemes on Sunday. The Ravens' defensive line doesn't go right and left like some defensive tackles and defensive ends do and outside linebackers. Madubuike gives a little bit to everybody. The center, the left guard, the right guard. You're going to see him play some 5 technique here. Tackles have to deal with him multiple times on Sunday against the Titans. Really nobody had a chance dealing with this guy. He's off to a tremendous start. I think 4.5 sacks through 6 games. Let's get to some of the film that predates week 6. And if you haven't seen this play, this kind of tells you about the athletic ability that Justin Madubuike has. Third quarter against the Texans, week 1, and you're C.J. Stroud, and you've played a high level of football in college, and suddenly you have a 3-technique D tackle chasing you down before you can even get near the sideline. That is Justin Madubuike in a nutshell. We'll show you one run play from the Steelers game in week 5 that the Ravens lost. Look, he's the recognition as well. He already recognizes that all of this movement here is just to get Ravens players folding to that side, redirects, and chases down C.J. Stroud, who's an underrated athlete, before he gets to the bottom of the numbers, and Justin Madubuike has tracked him down. Against the Steelers, week 5, watch him deal with this left guard, post him up, fold him inside, and then make the tackle on Najee Harris. And like I said, he's always at the bottom of the pile, which is where he ends up on this play. I love how he frames him up with the left hand. Yeah, there's contact to the face mask. He's a violent dude. I don't think Justin Madubuike cares about getting he certainly has enough personal foul penalties that maybe he doesn't care. And I offer to you that on some level, sometimes you have to play that way. You have to toe the line between being overly aggressive and maybe being right at the border of out of control. Here's Madubuike here going to zone drop out against the Steelers and kind of get in the window for this in-breaking route by, I think, Hayward, the tight end. Ends up being a sack on a nickel blitz by Arthur Malay. Let's get to the Titans film, because that's what you came here to see. I'll show you this one, because generally people are always going to talk about pass rush, and I wonder what people would say about Madubuike this year if he only had 1.5 sacks or 2.5 sacks. He's playing fantastic across the board, regardless of how many sacks he gets. And in fact, he didn't get credit for this one. Queen is attempting to pick the right guard, and what they're trying to do is then get Madubuike to fold inside and get isolated against this running back. The Ravens are attacking protection scheme, which is what blitzes do. So Queen is walling off 60, and Madubuike is hidden here. He's kind of disappeared. He ends up one-on-one with the running back, just totally annihilates him, but Queen gets first contact, gets credit with a sack. Clowney and Madubuike just play with reckless abandon. Against the run, probably 3 or 4 plays in a row here. 13 personnel by the Titans. Bring one of the tight ends back into the backfield. Okonkwo is a unique and talented player. Watch Madubuike deal with this guard. He's kind of playing backdoor there, and I'll show you the end zone angle so you know what I mean. Now, that may be an excuse. He may just be getting reached. So reached means this guard gets to his outside. Michael Pierce also gets reached by the backside guy. Really, it's a scoop because the center is going to combo and help out and work up. That's the idea of an inside zone or outside zone play. But once you're on the backside, you just got to keep running horizontal. And then watch the violent finish that Madubuike has on Derrick Henry. There's a club there. Right at the end, he wants to make sure Derrick Henry understands who he's running into. That's football. When you're a 275-pound defensive tackle in a league with a bunch of 330-pound offensive linemen, you've got to be as violent as possible. I love his game. Justin Madubuike is a dude that I've been rooting for since 2021. The backdoor technique, I didn't really explain it, so my apologies. Third quarter, Madubuike is down here in front of Patrick Queen. He's going to get a one-on-one. This is what he does to one-on-ones. When he's not having to deal with a combo block, running away from him, running to him has never been a good idea. When Madubuike is on the field, he's going to get involved in run plays. I've found the rare instance when he's been defeated one-on-one, and I do not share other people's assessment that he struggles with combo blocks or double teams. This is my favorite play, to be honest with you, from this game. And it's one where Madubuike gets combo blocked and momentarily has to reset his base because of the down block by the tight end. The tight end is comboing him up to Roquan Smith. Now, Malik Harrison does a great job. Malik Harrison's playing extremely underrated football. But just so you understand what I'm talking about, the tight end is going to combo Madubuike up to the front side inside linebacker, which in this case is Roquan Smith. Watch Madubuike. He's almost on his left knee, and then reset back to his base and win after just getting chipped, comboed, whatever you want to call it, by a tight end. Some people will mistakenly call that a double team. It's not. It's a combo block where one guy's working up and Madubuike catches the running back in his chest. Man, it's a brilliant football play. That right there, if you have three guys like that in your interior D-line, you can win a lot of football games. Madubuike is a badass. Pass rush, here's a twist between him and Van Noy. I think they're going to run into each other. I think I don't know who mistimes it or whatever. Normally you're talking about the second guy being the guy you're trying to free up. In this case, there's a hit. Some people will call it a little bit late, but Madubuike's committed. He's committed to getting there, and he's going to finish the play. I think he's gotten better at not landing on top of quarterbacks. I call him the Mad Raven, just because of the Madubuike name. You can see him and Van Noy have run into each other. Van Noy's supposed to collision inside, allow him to loop around. He actually gets a sack on this later on. I'll show you that play. Hits Tannehill after the play or just after the throw. We were really brutal with Tannehill on Sunday. The Ravens are going to need more of that if they want to deal with Jared Goff in Week 7 at home. 3 technique. I think he gets a quarterback hit on a play action. This ends up being a defensive pass interference against Marcus Williams. That was a really poor call. Him and the right tackle are dealing with each other. Is there a hold? I don't know. But one thing I do is Madubuike ends up putting the quarterback on the ground. You want that as many times as you can get that in a football game. And when you're getting it from a D tackle, from a guy who isn't looked at as an 8-10 sack per season guy, I mean, he's on that pace now. He's going to crumple Tannehill on this one. This one's brutal, man. This may be where Tannehill got hurt. I'm not sure. 4.5 sacks through 6 games. Project that out. How much is he worth if he goes for 10 sacks this year? That's why I said I wish the Ravens had signed him before the season. We signed Broderick Washington, who's also a really good football player. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he has the same level of explosiveness, the same level of finish as Justin Madubuike, but we're in that position, so here we are. He's a 5 technique, kind of hidden here. Looked like maybe Patrick Queen adjusted him. This is one of his 2 sacks from Sunday's game. I thought he had another situation where he could have been credited for a half sack. He just overwhelms the left tackle, who I think is getting out maybe a little bit early here, but maybe it's one of those instances where he's just timing the snap because he knows the snap count. Madubuike is an efficient guy when he's outside in an odd technique. Would I want him to the field against the most athletic quarterbacks in the league? No, certainly not. But he can give you these reps 3, 4, 5 times a game when it's a known pass situation. I think it's a great example of how versatile the guy is. A sack on a twist with Clowney here in a pass situation. We've walked Roquan up to kind of mug it, drop him out. Clowney's job there is to go on an inside stem and let Madubuike go outside second. It's a right-handed quarterback, so you kind of, you want him scrambling to his left, even though he's an athletic dude. Going to engage the guard, Madubuike, and then fold outside late once Malik Willis sees the inside rush by Clowney or senses it. Folds outside, runs right into Madubuike, possibly being held for a moment, but that's the type of hold that they're very rarely going to call. 2 sacks on the day, 4.5 sacks already this year, devastating against the run. This is a nasty interior defensive lineman that the Ravens have right now. Show you this play one more time. The design of this, if I didn't explain it well further, is they're trying to isolate him on the running back because the Ravens know the protection scheme. Queen realizes, oh, shoot, I'm just totally unblocked. Let me go ahead and attack and get this sack. But I love the physicality that Madubuike brings to the game at all times. This guy's having a great year for the Ravens. I think that they should still try to re-sign him, but at this point, with so many good players, looking at either being re-signed by the Ravens or guys like Van Noy or Clowney that you might want to bring around at this point, because who knows what you're going to get out of Owe and Ojabo now with the injury for 2023 injuries that they're dealing with. This is a guy I've always thought the Ravens should try to extend. I said it after 2021, said it after 2022, and prior to this season, prior to training camp. I'm not sure what the cost is going to be if we keep getting games like this out of Justin Madubuike. At this rate, if he keeps playing like this, he'll price himself out of Baltimore, which would be a shame because I think he was a 4th-round pick out of Texas A&M with a great athletic profile coming out of college that the Ravens, quote, took a chance on. You saw early returns in 2021. He had a game against the Vikings at home in 2021. Everybody remembers that as the Lamar game. 20 or 21 rushing attempts, 330 yards passing or something like that. 3 touchdowns, I think 2 interceptions as well. But Lamar played a fantastic game, basically willed us to victory in the second half. But Madubuike was amazing in that game, gave you a glimpse of what he can do when teams try to run to him and combo him, or teams try to run away from him and scoop him, which you just cannot do. He's too athletic, too quick, and too violent with his hands when offensive linemen are trying to engage him. One of my favorite players to do film studies of. I'm really glad that he played so well because I got to do one of these. Let me know what you guys think of Justin Madubuike's season so far. Absent the 4.5 sacks, I think he's playing his butt off. But when you throw in the 4.5 sacks there, this is an incredible start to the year through 6 games. Even if his production the rest of the year is cut in half in terms of sacks, you're still looking at potentially a 7-8 sack season. And I thought that was the ceiling for Madubuike in 2023. It now looks like that might be the floor for his overall production. Appreciate you guys' time. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this film study video, please consider grabbing a link, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach. Let me know what you guys think of Madubuike so far in the comment section.